Let's be honest, an ice maker sounds like a nice little luxury. You picture pressing a button and watching perfect cubes clatter into your glass like something out of a hotel commercial. But here's what they don't show you: the leaks, the clogs, the broken motors, the jammed buckets, the frozen lines, and the repair guy charging you half the price of a new fridge just to say, yep, it's dead. Because for most refrigerators, the ice maker isn't a feature, it's a liability. It's the number one thing that fails. Ask any technician, ask 5. You'll get the same answer every time. Those ice makers? I replace more of those than anything else, every week. Here's the first red flag: where they put it. In most modern fridges, the ice maker is mounted right inside the door, on the warmest, most unstable part of the unit. Every time you open the fridge, you're blasting warm kitchen air directly onto your delicate little pile of half-frozen cubes. That warm air? It melts the ice, then it refreezes, then it clumps, jams the bucket, cracks the tray, and eventually burns out the motor trying to push a solid ice block through a tiny plastic funnel. It's like trying to pour concrete through a straw, and then being surprised when the straw explodes. Some models try to fight this with tiny fans and air ducts. But here's the truth: most of them suck. They don't circulate enough cold air, or they point the vents too far from the bin, or the fan dies in a year. Either way, you're left with a slushy mess that freezes into a glacier and chokes your ice chute shut. And that's if you're lucky. The unlucky ones get internal water leaks, a cracked line behind the wall, water dripping into insulation, mold growing where you can't see it. You won't notice until you smell it, and by then, the damage is permanent. Let's talk about frozen water lines, because this one's brutal. The water line feeding your ice maker is thin, fragile, and when it freezes, which it will, the pressure builds until something pops. Could be the valve, could be the filter housing, could be the back of the fridge. And when it does, you won't hear it. You'll just wake up one morning and find your kitchen floor soaked, your fridge groaning, and your food sweating like it's in a sauna. Congratulations. Your convenient ice maker just trashed $200 worth of groceries and warped your hardwood floor. But it gets worse. The moment your ice maker jams, your freezer temperature starts fluctuating. It works harder, runs longer, strains the compressor, and shortens the entire life of your fridge. That one little feature you never asked for? It's the silent killer that brings down the whole machine. And here's the kicker: even when they do work, most ice makers produce about 2 trays worth of cubes a day. That's it. 2 trays. For all that risk, that noise, that wasted space, you'd be better off filling a plastic mold by hand like it's 1994. Let's talk numbers, because when that ice maker fails, and it will, you're not just dealing with a little inconvenience. You're looking at a repair bill that can hit $300, $400, sometimes more than $600, depending on the model. And guess what? In most cases, you can't just fix the ice maker. You have to replace the entire assembly. That means water valve, motor, tray, electronics, housing, and you better hope the parts are even available. And if it's a Samsung, LG, or GE with a smart panel, good luck. You'll be on the phone with 5 service centers before one even agrees to take a look. Now here's the dirty little secret. Most of these brands know. They know their ice makers fail. They know the water lines crack. They know customers are dealing with leaks, clogs, sensor errors, and mold. There have been lawsuits, forums full of angry reviews, YouTube videos with 500,000 views showing DIY repairs and emergency hacks. And what do the companies do? They slap some black stainless steel on the door, toss in a new craft ice feature, and pretend it's all fixed. But the design hasn't changed. the problems are still there. Only now, the failure comes with a fancier user interface and a steeper repair cost. And let's not forget the space it steals. That door-mounted bin? That's shelf space gone. The rear compartment? That's a whole corner of your freezer taken up by an ice maker that may not even work. You're paying for less room, more noise, and a ticking time bomb disguised as convenience. Here's what nobody says out loud. You don't need a built-in ice maker. Seriously. Unless you're throwing parties every weekend or running a beach bar out of your garage. You can live without a machine that makes 6 cubes an hour. Those plastic trays you fill by hand? They cost $2, never leak, and never short out your control board. They also won't void your warranty, flood your kitchen, or wake you up at 3 a.m. when the motor jams. And if you really want an upgrade, get a countertop ice machine. It's separate, it's serviceable, and it won't take down your fridge if something goes wrong. So here's the bottom line. Ice makers sound good, but for most people, they're not worth the noise, the space, the cost, or the headache. They break, they leak, they jam, they melt, and they drag your whole fridge down with them. If you're shopping for a new refrigerator, skip the fancy extras. Get one that's built to last, not built to impress. Because when it comes to cold food and working machines, boring is beautiful. Thanks for watching Frugal Choice. Hit like if your ice maker ever failed you at the worst possible moment, and subscribe for more brutally honest breakdowns that save you money, sanity, and a whole lot of cleanup.